Hey guys, Bryce Tubbs here. Let me open up my document just to kind of share. I prepared some pretty detailed notes today. So, how my mentee Audrey went from 3K per month in her 9 to 5 job to $25,000 per month in her business in a year and a half. And this is while working only 15 days out of the month and traveling 30% of the year. So keep in mind, this is not one of those 10K in 37 days types of videos that I usually post on my channels. This is a review of one of the long-term students out of the mentorship program, okay? Because it's not just about getting to 10K per month. It's about a lifetime of freedom and control. Now, Audrey has been in the program for a little bit over a year and a half, and she not only got to a little bit over $25,000 per month in revenue, and keep in mind, that's not counting like the cleanup that she gets before the monthly clients. That's just strictly monthly recurring revenue. I mean, every single month, she's going to be making at least $25,000 per month, give or take if like maybe one or two like clients like either are delayed in paying or maybe like something falls off. But very, very, very consistent money. So she's optimized her business not only to get to $25,000 per month every single month, but she's optimized her business so much that she only works 10 to 15 days out of the month and lets her virtual contractors take care of the majority of the work. And on top of that, she has things so optimized that it allows her to travel on the days of the month that she's not working. So like last month she was in the Bahamas. The month before I think she was vacationing like Georgia. So you never exactly know where she's gonna be because like sometimes she'll come on a coaching call and be like, hey, I'm in Texas. Sometimes she'll be like in LA. It's just all over the place. And super excited to be able to kind of share her story. Now, before we get into this, I want to engage people to engage with this post so we can get the post out to more people. And since these videos are free, like one way you can say like thank you is by supporting them so that more people can see them. So the way that social media platforms is every single time someone likes, comments, or shares a video, it's seen by more people. Since I'm not charging you for this information and for the stuff we're doing on the channel, I just ask that in return, you can help me out by sending out to as many people as possible. So, for example, if you're watching this on the live, please comment hashtag team live. If you're watching this inside of the replay, comment hashtag team replay. If you want me to connect with you to answer any questions you might have about growing your business that might not have been answered inside this video because maybe you weren't on the call or for whatever reason, but hashtag comment, I'll be sure to reach out to you at my earliest convenience. Now, who am I? Okay, so my name is Bryce Tubbs, and I started my accounting firm in 2015. Now, the first year in business was very, 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 very bad. Now, the most money I made in a month it was really about $2,300 dollars, and 1,700 that came from like a cleanup. And I ended up having to go back in corporate America after it was about 6/7 months, like 6.5 months of me trying every single day, networking events, walking with flyers, cold calling, um, I was trying everything I possibly could do because like I had quit my job and I needed to make money. I was very desperate. I feel like prospects could feel it on my voice. They knew I needed to make it just was a mess. So I ended up going back into corporate America for about 8 months. And looking back, I realized there was about three main things that I was lacking that prevented me from finding success. Like number one, I didn't really understand how to find the right potential clients who, were willing to pay me what I was worth. I had no accurate way to price my services also, so I always undercharged. And number three, I couldn't explain my value on the consultation call, so they didn't even want to sign up with me at my very low rate. So like for a while, like when I was first starting, I was like trying to sell anything from like 150, like $400 per month. And it was just like I figured that, if I got 100 people to say yes at $100 a month, I'd hit my goal, I'd be at 10K per month, I'd be, financially secure, financially stable, and I'd be able to do this for the rest of my life, right? But it just was not the case. It was still hard to get people to sign up. So when I went back into corporate America, it lasted for about 8 months, and I ended up investing about 35,000, like $600 into like some change and like courses, mastermind, vacation retreats, and like guru seminars. Just I was desperate to find and like figure this stuff out. Like that's a common trait I notice with people who actually succeed in business. They're so hungry that they will buy like coach after coach and mentorship, seminar, education, like anything they can to get their hands on to learn this stuff. Versus like people who tend to like struggle, they generally want to figure things out themselves. They feel like they have all the time in the world and they're just very complacent. So I think that's just kind of a common thread I've noticed with people. But back to what we're talking about. So once I figured out like what to do, right, after buying different coaching programs, learning pricing, marketing, sales, and just different ways to talk to prospects and just everything, right? My income started skyrocketing, and I made it to the six-figure level by the third year in business. So naturally, of course, okay, I started telling people about it. So I started posting inside of Facebook groups. I'm like, hey, I finally figured it out. I'm successful. I don't have to go back to corporate America. Like I made it work, right? And then people started asking me, like, show them what I was doing so they could also leave their jobs and live lives of like freedom and control as well. So in 2019, I decided to open the Six Figure Firms mentorship program. And since we started, we've helped over I was been closer to like 170, a little bit over 175 accountants and bookkeepers to start and grow their businesses. And these videos are the culmination of what we've learned. So at any time in this video, if you want results like Audrey's or anyone else on this channel, then click on the link either above or below the video to select a time to speak with me to see if we can help you inside of our mentorship program. Now, keep in mind, this program is not for everyone, okay? We are looking for those who we feel we can actually help. We want to make a significant impact in the lives of a few rather than like a surface level impact in every single person on the planet, right? So if that's you, I would love to see you on the call. I'd love to see if we can help you out. Now, let's jump into this video. So, backstory. Also, I forgot. If you want me to send you a copy of this document that you're seeing on the screen, go ahead and comment documents. We'll say 25K document. 25K document. Comment that in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to send it to you at my earliest convenient. Now, Audrey's background, like we said in the beginning, Audrey was at about $3,100 per month back when she was at corporate America, and she was an AP. And the reason why she'd been in the field for a pretty good amount of time, but one, she wasn't really good at like advocating for herself, and number two, like when you're in corporate America and maybe you don't know how to play like corporate politics, it's very easy to get skipped over for on like promotion. So she was like, I'd be working more than anybody else, and I'd just see all these people, getting promotions ahead of me. They're moving so much faster than I was. I just didn't really know what to do to climb the ladder. So it was so hard for her to go. So when we met, she actually had a hard deadline because she was fed up and she was leaving 15 days. That means she booked a call knowing that she only had 15 more days of working. And I was like, there's no way she's going to join this program. Like, she's leaving her job in 15 days. So, like, I thought that, she either she wouldn't want to go into her savings to do it. She wouldn't want to kind of put any money at risk. But I mean, that's the one thing we keep saying. People who succeed are the ones that do things in spite of how things look versus people who don't. It's like, I don't want to come out of my savings to pay for something, or I can't do this because I don't have XYZ, or I don't like people who are unsuccessful are generally looking for reasons why they can't do something. People succeed, see the things, see the roadblocks and the obstacles, and they still do it despite what they see. It's almost like walking in faith rather than walking in fear. And that's really what I've noticed in like, the journey since 2015. Now, it's really interesting, because it's like you have to be able to kind of bet on yourself. Someone asked like what's my guarantee that any program or anything works? And the guarantee is really you, right? Because I can give you stuff that's worked. I can give you stuff that's worked for the other 175 students who had the program. But it really comes down to, do you feel like number one, you're going to execute on stuff? Number two, will you actually show up to coaching calls? Number three, are you going to actually implement the information that you just paid all this money for? Number four, when things don't work out the first time, you're going to kind of bury your head in the sand like an ostrich. You're going to come get help and come win. That's really what I've noticed. It's just like there's no guarantees in life. The only guarantees we have is that we're going to put in the work. We're going to put in the time. We're not going to give up. We're going to do the thing that's worked for everybody else. And it's just very consistent. And that's really the secret to all this stuff. It's not like it's magic marketing, not magic sales. It's really like you've paid the price for your dreams. And then you're going to actually go and see things through to the end. So what did she actually do? And before we even jump into what she did, let's talk about what she did not do. She did not do Craigslist. Okay. She did not go and fill out a million job proposals on Upwork. Okay. She did not post on Facebook. I don't remember if she had the Facebook business page. I don't think she does. She didn't really know anybody. I mean, or else she probably wouldn't have been making, $3,100 a month in a corporate job, right? So she didn't really have a lot of connections. Then I think she went to like one networking event because like one of her clients invited her to like go speak at something. But I mean, outside of that, she's only been to I think like one or two networking events. So what did she actually use to grow? So there was a couple main things. Number one is partnerships. Okay, so she was able to go and get some pretty good sized clients from partnerships. Now the partners, we always in my program, we always like to think of our partners as our sales rep. Okay, so she has one partner who sent her about $13,000 per month in contracts. Now she has other partners who are like CPAs who refer like cleanup work out to her as well. Now, I actually just created a book that goes into detail about how to create six-figure partnerships because that's been a very if you've watched any of the videos on the channel, that's been a very recurring theme where it's like my students go and find like two or three partners, and those partners get them to 10 grand a month, like just like that, right? Now it's not like it's lucky, it's not it's a pattern. It's a pattern of how you go and build that relationship, get them to trust you, get them to send clients to you, get them to ascend into even more clients and bigger clients, and you can grow your business so much faster. It's just so much easier when you have like a good partner. So I created the book. I call it Six Figure Partnerships, and it was made to help you get your first or your next partnership by the time you finish reading the book. And I made a special price for those who are inside my community and who watch my content. So the price for you guys is $4.99 versus what's going to retail when I put it on Amazon in a couple of weeks. So if you want that, comment 6FP book if you want me to send you the link to purchase it, or depending on when you see it, the link to the book might actually be inside the description inside of the video. So the cool thing about partnerships is how passive they are. Now they're actively hunting for you. And as they live their life, they make it easier and easier for you to have more freedom. And this way, you don't have to be a slave to the traditional marketing machine, like going to networking events, maybe going on Craigslist, like Facebook posts. Like you don't have to do all that stuff when you have other people that are actively trying and getting clients to work with you. So the second thing, okay, what is the second thing she used? So LinkedIn is her only other marketing channel. So let's kind of break down what she did on LinkedIn, right? Because I think there can sometimes be a little bit of like misconception about LinkedIn because LinkedIn can be very, very overwhelming. So number one, she messaged about 20 to 30 business owners, not today, per day, who were in her target market using advanced search filters on LinkedIn. Let me change those search filters. So that might sound like a lot of people, but we also do a good amount of like automation work when it comes to marketing to help, get more clients without spending much time each day doing the marketing. So for her, it was like it's probably about like anywhere between like 15 to like 30 minutes a day spent on like marketing. All that consists of is number one, spending like 10 minutes just turning on the automated machine and just making sure everything is running like smoothly, just sitting there and like watching it work. Number two is then it's like you just every time you get a message, like you just download like the LinkedIn app to your phone, and it's gonna have like inbound messages. So you just check your phone, see who replied. If you like the person that's replied, you can move the conversation forward. If you don't, then it's just like okay, you just kind of let them go off into either. So it's a very automated system when you really have it up and running. Now the next thing that most people struggle with when it comes to LinkedIn is like knowing exactly what to say. Like she doesn't really have that problem because we just give her messaging scripts. And part of the coaching is like we sit down looking at your LinkedIn messages and just saying, okay, cool. So this way you need to be tweaking inside your LinkedIn messages in order to make sure that it works easier for you, your market, your personality, and just the people you're coming in contact with. Because like the same messages do not work for every single market or every single niche. So there is a little bit of customization that needs to happen within there. Now, the cool thing about LinkedIn, right? And why are we sending out 20 to 30 messages per day? Like why are we connecting and building relationships like 20 to 30 business owners per day? That's a lot, Bryce. It's because the cool thing about LinkedIn is that as your network gets bigger, it tends to get warmer because you start having friends of friends, and then people reach out to you asking how you know their friend, which makes it a segue to a consultation call way easier because the people like doing business with people they know. And because of that warm networking effect, 50% of her sales have come from people who said no for whatever reason in the past. But as soon as they saw that she was either connected to her friend or some of her existing clients were their friends, now they're like, hey, I heard so and so is working with you. Like, how long have you guys been working together? What's that been like? Blah, 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 blah. And they get on the call and they're ready to go. It's just ridiculous. It's even down, it's so down to a science for her that at every time that she wants to either get more clients or at every major holiday, if she has room, like sometimes she doesn't have room because she's just so full. Um, she does what we call a respark campaign. And basically, in every single major holiday, or basically whenever you want to, you can. There's a specific message you can send that gets people interested in your service. And every time that she does this, every major holiday, she gets about 3 to 7 calls booked in her calendar within a week of that original message on that holiday. So it makes growth even more predictable. Like we literally have it on our calendar. It's okay. Message campaign here. Message campaign on this day. MLK message campaign. 4th of July message campaign. Christmas message campaign. New Year's. It's ridiculous at this point. Now, the key thing is predictability. Okay, it's key. Predictable is key. There's nothing more nerve-wracking than not knowing when your next client is coming to you. Okay, because then you always feel like you're guessing. That was the one thing I really hated when I was starting my business. It was just kind of like, one, I didn't really know what to say to get people to want to work with me. But then at the same time, I didn't even know when I was going to get a lead. Like there were certain months where I would get like 3 calls the entire month, right? Some months I would get 0, but like on average, it was like 3 calls a month. And since I sucked at calls, I just didn't know what it was rough. Okay. So it just kind of felt like it was like guesstimations, right? You can't feed your family on guesstimations. You feed your family with predictability. And the only way you can have true freedom is to create this system and get it into place. Now, the next thing, this is a big thing. So expanding capacity. Okay, so not a lot of people think about this and really understand this, but expanding your capacity and it's as much about fulfilling and client success as it is about marketing. Okay, the reason why is because a lot of time, not only she had 25,000 a month, but think about it, she works 15 days out of the month. How is she able to do that? So the first thing is subcontractors. Okay, so most students can get to about 12,000, maybe about $15,000 per month, in top line revenue before they consider bringing on like subcontractors. Now, there's 3 reasons why she decided to bring on subcontractors. Number one, she knew that she only wanted to work half the month, so she knew that like really early when we started working together. Number two, she wanted to grow as much as possible in the shortest time period possible. So she didn't want to like hit her capacity, have to like stop and then go and like try and build. She wanted to just have like a really straight kind of like path through it. And then number three, she keeps her living expenses really, really low. So bringing on subcontractors does not really impact her standard of living at all. Because remember, she had built her life on making, $3,100 a month, right? You're making 25,000 in top line revenue. That's a big difference. Now, keep in mind, every time that you bring someone on, your profit margin is not going to be at 100%. Like some people think, you just have this business that's doing a lot of money, you have like subcontractors, and your top line revenue is your profit margin. That's not always the case. Now, in her case, after all expenses, that's after subcontractors, that's after any software subscriptions, she does about $17,000 per month in profit each month. Now, that's about a 68% margin on average, which is moderately high, right? So she keeps it very lean, very mean. Now, again, that's way up from her $3,100 per month she was making back in corporate America. So there are 2 ways we help her do this, like expand the capacity. Number one is by connecting her with other students inside the program who are new and who are wanting to subcontract out work. So the cool fringe benefit about being inside of a program like ours is that if you don't have a huge amount of experience, or if you just don't really like marketing or like putting yourself out there and doing like the consultation calls, you can actually go and partner with another student that's already a lot further ahead of you. So it's basically a win-win, right? Because they can keep growing, they make passive income because they're not the ones doing the work. You get experience and you get paid a really great amount of money. Now, some of the students in the program have made $10,000 per month just from working with the larger students. So it's actually been a really cool kind of like fringe benefit that people get when they join a community like ours. Now, the second way that we help her do this is by doing some accounting work for her. So certain students want to partner with my accounting firm, and we do a lot of like the basic bookkeeping work for them at a price that's like heavily discounted compared to what we would charge like the general public. So she refers a pretty large amount of work to my firm to further increase her profit margins. That's another reason why our profit margins are so high. So just to recap, 3 main things: predictability of when she's going to be able to get clients, consistency of income, because that's what we feed our family on. And number 3 is freedom to live life on her own terms whenever and wherever she wants to live it. So if you want some help growing your business and reaching your goals in the shortest period of time possible, and if you want to be able to live the life of freedom without having to go through the different struggles that cause most people to fail or most people to stay in the current place they are for way too long, then you can click the link out above or below the video to see how I can help you. Now, some people wait to do this, and they end up running out of steam. Like they get really passionate about starting a business, and they're like, "I want to run a business, I want to run a business," but they don't really take any action. They don't book calls, they don't talk about people, they don't learn anything. They just watch like some videos online, and they end up like running out of steam, not really changing anything. And they live in the same spot for years. And all I have to do is just reach out, get them help, and finally reach the life that they want. And also, like, keep in mind, if money's tight right now, like we have different payment partners to help you get funded. So you get your foot in the door of the program without really having to like, break your bank. So never feel like money should be the thing that stops you from moving forward. It's really like, our partners, they are exclusive. So like you do have to qualify to make sure like, you have a credit score within a certain range. But if your credit score is within a certain range, and then you can split it up over time. It just makes it a lot easier for everybody to kind of join. So get inside the program, get off to the races. Let's go hit your goals together. If that's you, I will see you on the call. If you're not quite ready, that's a-okay too. Maybe in the future you'll be ready to kind of go and launch towards the goals. And I will talk to you sometime then. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Talk to you soon. Thank you for your time.